As the Russian invasion of Ukraine pushes on, there is a desperate push to protect Ukraine's historical and cultural sites. The United Nations is asking Ukrainian authorities to mark key buildings with that blue emblem. Lazar Ilundu Asommo is the director of UNESCO's World Heritage Center, and he's joining us right now. So good to see you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. I'm wondering if you can tell us what confirmed damage there has already been to heritage sites in Ukraine so far.
From the reports that we are receiving from the ground, you know, from our contacts who are professionals who decided to stay in most of the cities, I mean, the situation is really devastating. Mm-hmm. More than 30 historic monuments and sites have been confirmed completely damaged from certain cities like in Kharkiv, but also in Chernihiv. In Chernihiv, for instance, the historic center seems to have been completely teared down. And this is really a terrible situation because no one knows if all these historic buildings and cultural heritage will be recovered again.
Yeah, I mean, they're intricate and just gorgeous as we look at these pictures. It's hard to believe that trying to repair or rebuild any of that is possible. So as you're in contact with so many officials there, cultural institutions, leaders of such places there in Ukraine, I mean, is it their feeling that these 30 buildings that you mentioned were directly targeted, or it's just indiscriminate and that they are damaged and destroyed just simply because of the erratic targeting of missiles?
You know, it's not going to be easy today to know exactly the reasons why they were targeted or they were destroyed, but the fact that they have been destroyed, and this is a terrible loss. Yeah. And I think we continue to monitor the situation using our satellite images, but also our reports of people from the ground. And we fear that this is going to be even worse in the future if this escalation of violence and combat continues.
Mm-hmm. And while I mentioned, earlier that UNESCO is trying to, strengthen the protection of these sites by putting and requesting that these blue emblems be put on the buildings. I mean, you're hoping that those emblems will be respected, but then we already saw, a building that had the markings that there were children inside from the air. They could see that there might be children inside, and that didn't seem to matter, to the Russians. Are you confident that those blue markers would be respected?
This emblem is very important because these emblems are to be put in all historic monuments simply because, Russia and Ukraine have signed the international instruments to protect cultural heritage in case of conflict. So if any building has this emblem and is targeted or it's damaged as a result of collateral damage, it means that those who have done it are responsible and can be taken to justice, and this can be also considered as a war crime in future.